Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. So reports of people being robbed, injured or even killed by people they have met online have become common practice. As part of our Women's Day focus, we look at online dating and the associated red flags. And for more on this, we are now joined by clinical psychologist Dr Keitumetse Mashego, and she joins us now via our video link. Dr Keitumetse, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Let's start off here. We do find ourselves now living in ever-changing times, right? And, with this global village that social media platforms have created, it even makes people accessible, much more accessible than they were back in the day. And we've seen this trend, be it the Facebook rapist, Thabo Bester, even most recently, the murder case of Olorato Mongale. Why would someone be enticed, right, to start a relationship online?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I think we need to really, embrace that human beings want connection. We are meant to, relate with one another. But unfortunately, people fall prey to people who are targeting that vulnerability where people want to connect. And I think we also need to emphasize that social media or the internet is not a real place, meaning people are hiding behind laptops, computers, their phones, and we don't know actually who they are. And they create personas that often prey on vulnerable human beings who want to connect.
And you speak about the social media platforms as not being, a true space or the real world that we are living in, and perhaps maybe looking at how common it has become, and it's basically a part of our lives now. What are some of the red flags women should look out for, particularly when they choose to use platforms that make use of online dating?
I think women should be warned that we're living in a wounded society, a violent society. So whereby people will prey on, innocent people, like the person looking to find, the love of their life online. So I think it's just to create those warning signs that, internet, it can be that dangerous. But the warning signs include some things like whereby, if something is too good to be true, it probably is. So if this person is offering you the thing that you feel, you cannot live without, and they are pushing it, it's probably because they picked up on it as something that you lack. And if you function from a place of lack and somebody who is unwell or who's preying on you, they would find that thing and push it. So, for example, if it's children you want, maybe you talked about it, in a conversation, they're probably going to sell you, having children and that family, the thing that you want, and they do it so well. So you need to understand that people who prey on other people on the internet are mastermind. They study their victim and they sell their victim the thing that they need the most. And it sounds like, it's almost like something that's destined to be. So it's really about just being alert that, there are people like that out there, and you yourself, the warning signs, if it's too good to be true, definitely it is.
And how easy it is then for anyone to fall victim to some of these online social media culprits that we have seen recently circulating in the news?
They study their victims, as I said, so they come with the thing that they feel you lack. So be it financial independence, that's why you get people who are high functioning, they fall also to some of these scams because, and they make it like it's urgent. If you don't do it immediately, you're going to miss out on this offer or you're going to lose it. So they really, want that immediate reaction to you. And someone, if they say you're going to lose this immediately, know that, why can it not wait? Why is this so urgent? But also be careful on just revealing everything on the internet. The masterminds usually study their victim and get to know them so that they feel comfortable releasing some of this information. So I think people need to just be aware that the person that is on the other side, you don't actually know them personally, and they can take advantage of you. They will study the thing that you need and sell it to you in a way that is enticing, and sometimes put it like it's urgent. So I think it's really, if you know that there is something that you're not okay with, please do not put it on the internet because people will prey on that.
And let's talk about women, right? Why does it seem as if women are often the victims of, these social media scams. Why does it seem as if, they are often the ones mostly targeted through online social media dating platforms?
Sadly, we've got a dilemma in that relationship are not what people feel fulfilled in, meaning that we are functioning from a place of lack of pain. So relationships, for people are just a struggle nowadays, sadly. So, women also want to be in healthy relationships. I think many people dream about being married or having a family or just being loved. But I'm of view that if you're not okay and you are hurting, chances are you're going to project this out into whoever it is that attempts to date you, and they can scam you if they are scammers, So I think people need to be self-aware, and we don't do the work. There's still so much stigma about seeing someone like myself, a clinical psychologist, because people are often afraid that, they will be deemed crazy. And you don't need to come see me when you're in crises. I think it's just to unpack how you show up in relationships, because it's usually people who are hurting, who haven't healed from their past, or who have low self-esteem, or who just want that, bond with someone, that usually then are targeted, or they find themselves, on these sites and then become the targets for these scammers. So I think it's really the need for us as the profession to just promote that self-awareness. Come and see us when you're not in crisis, so that you can unpack and understand who you are and how you show up in relationships and how the world sees you as well.
And why do we continue to see an increase in these online social media scams? What could be, something that could be attributed to this new phenomenon that we find ourselves in?
Trends also can be negative, meaning that if it has been working, to scam people in a certain manner, it will gain traction, and that's what these scammers will target. So it's almost like it's the in thing now. It might change as we go along. Maybe people become more aware, or they are more careful, and the next trend comes in. So at the moment, this is what is trending, because people have seen that scamming actually can work. And, unfortunately, we live amongst monsters out there. So they actually thrive on that and make a living out of it. So we need to understand that, the world is not safe. And it's not to say that you should fear everything and everyone, but just that awareness that people are not always what they seem. Right? People are masterminds out there, and some people, that is what they do for a living. And that's what, we need to be aware that, not to put yourself out there too much, especially on the internet. But definitely it's the current trend. And because the scammers have reaped benefits from it, it will remain a trend until the next trend comes in, sadly.
Dr. Keitumetse, thank you so much for your time this evening. Really appreciate it. That's Dr. Keitumetse Mashego, a clinical psychologist. They're just giving us an insight in terms of the trends we are seeing when it comes to online or social media dating. Also, they're saying and highlighting, if it's too good to be true, then often it is.